Oh, I didn't make a video today. I didn't forget I still needed to film a video for today. You forgot that I still needed to film a... I mentioned in yesterday's video circular stories, and it reminded me of one of my favorite circular stories. There's a hole in my bucket. Story might be a generous word for it, but we'll get back to that in a moment. Hole in My Bucket is a song, kind of a nursery rhyme, and it's a conversation between two characters, Henry and Liza. Henry comes to Liza and says, "There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, a hole." Liza responds to, "Mend it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Mend it, dear Henry." She probably says dear Henry again. Mend it. All the lyrics follow this structure. There's a blank, dear Liza, dear Liza. Then do this, dear Henry, dear Henry. And it goes back and forth. Henry's like, "How do I mend the bucket?" Liza goes, "With straw." Henry goes, "The straw's too long." "Then cut it." "What do I cut it with?" "A knife." "My knife's too dull." "Then sharpen it." "What do I sharpen it with?" "A stone." "But the stone's too dry." "Then wet it." "With what?" "Water." How do I get the water?" "With a bucket." "Ah, but you see, there's a hole in my bucket." Peak comedy. This never gets old for me. It's circular, much like I mentioned Give a Mouse a Cookie. Except in Give a Mouse a Cookie, which is a children's storybook, lots of things happen. And in this little song, nothing actually happens. Which then begs the question, is it a story? I Googled what counts as a story, and it's like something that tells a narrative. Does this count? Nothing happens. It's just a lot of what ifs. I've seen this song described as a deadlock song. It's because there's nowhere to go. The characters, specifically Henry, is stuck before they can even get started. But I guess if Waiting for Godot can be a play, then this can be a story. I also find this story song very satisfying, even though nothing actually happens. You kind of get partway through the song, you see where it's going, and when you get back to square one and nothing's happened and nothing's going to happen, it feels correct. Because of the way this story is formatted and given to us, nothing happening is the satisfying conclusion. It feels set up, and that's where we should have ended up. Believe it or not, this is something I wanted to talk about this month. It worked out well today because it's something that was quick and easy to talk about. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza.